At 82 years old, I've learned quite a bit about life. But there's one decision I truly regret: moving into a nursing home. At the time, it felt like the right move. My family encouraged it, saying I'd have all the care and comfort I needed. I trusted them. But once I got there, I quickly saw that it wasn't anything like what I imagined. Maybe some of you are thinking about this step for yourself or maybe a loved one. Maybe it seems like the safest, easiest choice. Or maybe people have told you it'll make life simpler. But before you decide, I want to share 6 important things I wish someone had told me before I moved in. Because honestly, life in a nursing home isn't just about convenience. It changes everything. And once you're in, getting out isn't as easy as you might think. Stick around until the end. Some of these insights might surprise you. And if you know someone who's considering a nursing home, this could be exactly what they need to hear before making such a big decision. Let's get into it. The biggest shock wasn't the small room, the strict meal times, or even the unfamiliar faces. It was realizing I'd lost control over my own life. Before I moved in, I had my routines. I decided when to wake up, when to eat, how to spend my day. I could take a walk whenever I wanted, cook my own meals, or just relax quietly in my favorite chair with a book. But in the nursing home, I quickly learned my time wasn't my own anymore. Everything ran on their schedule, breakfast at a fixed time, even if I wasn't hungry. Lights out at a set hour, whether I was ready for bed or not. Want to take a walk outside? You usually need permission, and you'll likely have to wait for someone to be available to assist you. Even simple choices like what to eat or where turned into privileges, instead of the normal freedoms I'd always had. I remember that first week vividly. I woke up in a bed that didn't feel like mine. I stretched and reached for the book I'd been reading at home, but then I looked around the room. It hit me. This wasn't my home. My books, my favorite chair, all the little comforts I collected over the years were gone. In their place were plain walls, a bed I didn't pick, and this heavy feeling. I wasn't in charge anymore. The hardest part? Once you give up that independence, it's almost impossible to get it back. You learn to adapt because you have to. You stop arguing when they tell you what's for dinner. You stop asking if you can go for a walk whenever you want. You fit into their system. But in doing so, you start to lose a piece of yourself. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, are you really ready to give up those small freedoms that make life yours? Because once they're gone, you'll miss them more than you ever imagined. One of the hardest truths about nursing homes is realizing the world outside just keeps moving, and you don't. When I first arrived, my family promised they'd visit often, and for a while they did. My daughter came once a week. My grandchildren stopped by on weekends. It felt like I still had a connection to my old life. But as months went by, those visits became fewer and farther between. My daughter started calling instead of coming. The grandchildren got busier with school and work. Holidays were the hardest. Everyone said they'd come, but plans often changed last minute. Before long, I found myself sitting alone in the common room, watching others stare at the door, hoping someone would remember them today. It wasn't that my family stopped loving me. Life just got in the way. When you're not around daily, it's easy for people to assume you're fine, that you're adjusting, that you don't need as much attention. But the truth is, the longer you're in a nursing home, the easier it is for people to forget how much you still need them. I remember one night, sitting in my room with my phone in hand, wondering if I should call my son. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to remind him I was there, waiting for a visit that might never come. So I put the phone down. And that's when it really hit me. This was my new life. Watching days slip by, hoping someone would remember me. If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready for the loneliness? Because no matter how much your family loves you, once you're out of sight, it's easy to be out of mind. When I moved into the nursing home, I was told I'd have constant access to medical care, nurses on call 24/7, regular checkups, medication management. That sounded reassuring. After all, health issues are a big reason many people choose nursing homes. But what I didn't realize was how stretched thin the staff often are. On any given day, there might be dozens of residents needing help, from taking meds to changing dressings to just getting to the bathroom. And with limited nurses and aides, sometimes you're waiting longer than you'd like. It's not that the staff don't care. Many of them do, deeply. But the system they're working in makes it tough. Time pressures, understaffing, and high turnover mean you might not get the prompt, personalized care you imagined. I learned this the hard way during a rough patch with my diabetes. I needed close monitoring and some quick adjustments in medication. But it took a couple of days for someone to notice I was feeling off. Those delays can be dangerous. I got lucky. Nothing serious happened. But not everyone is. If you or a loved one is considering a nursing home for healthcare reasons, I strongly suggest you visit the facility multiple times, at different hours. Talk to the staff. Ask questions about how many patients they care for, how emergencies are handled, and what their communication looks like with families. It's better to know before you commit. Another big reason people think nursing homes might be a good fit is the social aspect. You imagine lots of friendly faces, group activities, game nights, maybe even outings. It sounds nice, right? Staying social, making new friends, keeping loneliness at bay. In reality, it's a mixed bag. Yes, some nursing homes organize activities, bingo, arts and crafts, occasional music sessions, but participation can be low. Many residents are tired, dealing with health issues, or just not feeling up to socializing. Others might be shy or withdrawn, overwhelmed by the new environment. I spent many afternoons in the common room watching TV with others, but often it felt more like we were strangers in the same space rather than friends. There were moments when I felt even more isolated than before. The social side of nursing homes depends a lot on the culture of the place and the personalities of the residents. But don't assume that moving there will automatically solve feelings of loneliness. If social connection is important to you, look closely at what the nursing home offers. Visit during activity times. Talk to residents about how they spend their days. And consider whether it's the right fit for your personality and needs. Money is a huge factor when deciding on nursing home care. It's expensive, and often, the real costs can surprise you. The basic monthly fee covers your room, board, and some level of care. But many extras come with additional charges, special therapies, transportation, extra medical supplies, personal items, and even some activities. If your health needs increase, your costs can rise quickly. Plus, insurance or government support might not cover everything. I remember getting bills for things I hadn't anticipated, like special medications or additional physical therapy sessions. It's crucial to have a clear, detailed conversation with the nursing home's financial coordinator before signing anything. Ask about every possible extra cost and how they handle billing. If you have insurance, confirm exactly what they will and won't cover. Planning financially for nursing home care means looking beyond the basic monthly rate. Otherwise, you might end up with bills that strain your savings or cause stress for your family. Finally, the emotional side of moving into a nursing home hits you in waves. You don't just lose a room or a routine. You lose a place filled with memories, comfort, and identity. Your home is where you felt safe, where your life unfolded. When you move into a nursing home, you're leaving that behind. Even if the nursing home is nice and the staff are kind, it can't replace the feeling of your own space. I found myself grieving more than once for the kitchen where I cooked meals, the garden I tended, the neighborhood I walked every day. Those losses weigh heavily on your spirit. If you or a loved one faces this choice, prepare for that emotional journey. Keep personal items that bring comfort close by. Ask if you can decorate your room to make it feel more like home. And don't hesitate to seek support from counselors or support groups who understand what this transition means. Now, let's talk about how you can make this huge transition into a nursing home smoother and less overwhelming. First, involve yourself or your loved one as much as possible in the decision-making process. It's tempting to take over, especially when health is declining, but keeping some control helps preserve dignity and reduces anxiety. Visit multiple facilities together. Talk about what matters most, whether that's location, quality of care, social activities, or financial considerations. Second, pack thoughtfully. Bring personal belongings that make the space feel like yours. Photos, favorite blankets, a cozy chair, or even small pieces of art can turn a sterile room into a comforting retreat. Familiar scents or music can also bring surprising comfort. These little touches help maintain a sense of identity and emotional grounding. Third, build relationships with staff and other residents. Introduce yourself, ask questions, be open to new connections. Remember, the staff are your advocates and your lifeline to good care. Nurturing these relationships can make a big difference. If you find it hard to connect socially, try joining small groups or classes offered on site. Even 1 or 2 friendly faces can brighten the day. Fourth, stay involved with the outside world. Visits from family and friends are priceless. Phone calls, video chats, letters, anything that keeps the connection alive. Also, staying engaged with hobbies or interests outside the nursing home, like reading, writing, or crafts, keeps your mind active and your spirits up. Finally, don't hesitate to speak up if something isn't right. If care is delayed, or you feel lonely, or if you notice changes in health, raise these issues promptly with staff or administration. Being proactive helps prevent small problems from becoming big ones. A nursing home isn't the only solution. Depending on your situation, some alternatives might fit better. For example, home healthcare services have improved dramatically. You can hire nurses or aides to assist with daily tasks, medication management, or physical therapy, all while staying in your own home. This option preserves independence and familiarity, but requires a supportive home environment and possibly family involvement. Another option is assisted living communities. These often strike a balance, providing more care than living alone, but less than a full nursing home. They usually offer private apartments, social activities, and some medical support. If you want some independence, but a safety net, this might work. There are also adult day programs, where seniors spend the day at a center with activities, meals, and care, but return home at night. This can reduce isolation and provide respite for caregivers. The key is to assess needs realistically, physical, emotional, social, and financial, and explore what fits best rather than settling for the first thing available. One of the biggest regrets many face in nursing homes is feeling powerless. But you do have a voice, and using it can improve your experience. Start by keeping thorough records. Note down any concerns, dates, names of staff you spoke to. If something happens, a medication error, neglect, or just poor communication, having a clear record strengthens your case when addressing it. Join or form a resident council or family support group if available. These groups can work with management to improve policies, staffing, and programming. Reach out to ombudsman programs or elder advocacy organizations in your area. They're there to help mediate complaints and ensure standards are met. Most importantly, don't settle for poor care or isolation. Speak up for yourself or your loved one and demand the respect and quality of life everyone deserves. If you're watching this and thinking about your own future or that of a family member, here's some tips to start planning ahead. Have honest conversations early. Talk about preferences for care, housing, finances, and end-of-life wishes. These conversations can be tough, but save a lot of confusion and stress later. Explore and visit different types of care facilities before a crisis hits. It's easier to make decisions with a clear head and time to compare options. Get legal and financial documents in order. Powers of attorney, wills, and healthcare directives protect your wishes and make things smoother if you become unable to decide. Build a support network. Family, friends, healthcare providers, and social workers can all be allies when navigating care decisions. Stay as healthy and active as possible. Preventative care, exercise, and mental engagement reduce the likelihood of needing intensive care early on. Planning ahead doesn't mean you expect the worst. It means you're prepared for the best possible outcome no matter what happens. Let's be honest, moving into a nursing home isn't just a physical change. It's emotional, and sometimes it hits harder than we expect. Feelings of loss, fear, even guilt can surface for both the person moving and their family. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that's totally normal. Grieving the loss of independence or the life you once had is part of the process. Don't rush yourself or your loved one through these emotions. Allow space to talk openly about fears and hopes. Sometimes, just being heard can be a huge relief. Support groups, whether in person or online, can be a lifeline. Connecting with others who are going through the same experience helps normalize the feelings and offers practical tips for coping. Remember, adjusting takes time. Celebrate small wins, a new friendship formed, a favorite activity rediscovered, a day without feeling anxious. These moments add up. If you're watching this as a family member or caregiver, your role is crucial but also challenging. First, practice patience. Your loved one may resist the move or push back on the new routine. That's natural. Keep communication open, validate their feelings, and remind them you're there. Second, stay involved but don't smother. It's a fine line. You want to be helpful, but also encourage independence. Ask how you can support rather than assuming. Third, educate yourself. Learn about the nursing home's policies, care plans, and activities. The more informed you are, the better you can advocate and spot potential issues early. Fourth, take care of yourself. Caregiver burnout is real. Make sure you're getting breaks, emotional support, and doing things that recharge you. Only then can you show up fully for your loved one. On a broader scale, we need to shift how society views aging and nursing homes. Too often, they're seen as places of last resort, places people go when all else fails. But that's changing. More facilities are focusing on creating vibrant, engaging communities, where seniors are not just cared for but truly live, pursuing hobbies, forming friendships, contributing wisdom. Technology is also making big strides. Telehealth, smart home devices, and personalized care plans allow for safer, more responsive environments. Advocacy and policy are evolving too, pushing for higher standards, better training, and more funding. We all play a part, whether as future residents, family members, healthcare workers, or just compassionate human beings, in demanding dignity, respect, and joy for our elders. On a broader scale, we need to shift how society views aging and nursing homes. Too often, they're seen as places of last resort, places people go when all else fails. But that's changing. More facilities are focusing on creating vibrant, engaging communities, where seniors are not just cared for but truly live, pursuing hobbies, forming friendships, contributing wisdom. Technology is also making big strides. Telehealth, smart home devices, and personalized care plans allow for safer, more responsive environments. Advocacy and policy are evolving too, pushing for higher standards, better training, and more funding. We all play a part, whether as future residents, family members, healthcare workers, or just compassionate human beings, in demanding dignity, respect, and joy for our elders. So, if you're facing this transition soon or just want to be prepared, remember these key points. Take the time to research and choose the right facility. Make the move as personal and comfortable as possible. Stay connected, socially, emotionally, and physically. Speak up and advocate for quality care. Plan ahead and embrace the emotional journey. A nursing home doesn't have to be the end of the story. It can be a new chapter filled with care, community, and meaningful moments. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Take care, and see you in the next video.